Hello, our dear viewers, and welcome to a new edition of Body and Soul. I'm Mahisti Rabia. In today's edition, we are going to talk about the motherhood. What's the importance of motherhood, and what is the difference between fatherhood and motherhood? Is still the woman carrying the whole burden of motherhood by herself without real support of her husband, the father, or now there is a more percentage of sharing between both parents? Although the motherhood and fatherhood experiences are different, these two roles are becoming more and more similar in many households. While traditionally moms did the brunt of the work in raising the kids, dads are starting also to take the plenty of parenting duties, typically with the kids and the boys in particular. Here is a glimpse at the difference between moms and dads and the role of each one in raising the kids.
Of time daddies are logging with their little ones has increased in recent years. Still, motherhood and fatherhood will never be identical experiences for parents. As for discipline, typically moms and dads discipline differently. While many moms are in the trenches of parenthood day in and day out, dads may only offer occasional rules and guidelines. Because of this, moms can tend to be stricter, while fathers may allow the kids to get away with more. For instance, dads do not press the issue of cleaning up the playroom, reasoning that the kiddos will simply take the toys out. Researchers point out those mamas tend to focus more on a tot's feelings, while papas rely on a direct approach to discipline. As for the feelings of guilt, mommy guilt is a common emotion that many moms experience, whether they stay at home with their kiddos or they work full-time. Because a mom's role has traditionally been to take care of her children, she may feel guilty for doing anything else, whether it is in professional capacity or whether she wants to do something for her personal enjoyment. Meanwhile, a dad views his role in the family as being a provider. So leaving for work in the morning does not spark feelings of guilt as readily. Still, together, mothers and fathers shape the totality of a person's childhood experience.
Welcome back, our dear viewers. As we have said at the beginning of the episode, that we are going to talk about motherhood versus fatherhood. Do the fathers play the same role as the moms at home? Do they play a very important role to their kids as well? What's the difference between both roles? That would be our topic for discussion today with our dear guest in the studio, Dr. Ines Al-Gazzar. She's a life coach and soft skills trainer. Hello, Dr. Ines.
Hello. Hello,
Dr. Ines, when does the motherhood emotions start to evolve?
Okay. First of all, thank you. It's really an interesting topic to talk about. Let's say from the first beginning that a human being has two sides. Okay? We will talk about the rule, but every rule has its odds.
Indeed.
When we talk about the right side of the human being, energetically, this carries the masculine part, and the left part carries or holds the feminine part. If the human being is balanced, so the energy, the two energies will be balanced, masculinity and femininity.
Indeed.
So masculinity is talking about some features or characteristics or traits, okay? The femininity part, this part carries the nurturing, the caring, the parenting, the motherhood traits.
Yeah.
So if the human being is balanced, so this feature will appear normally.
Indeed.
Whether having their own kids or not.
What about the fatherhood instinct or emotions? When does it develop for the guy or the male?
Yeah, to continue on what was said now previously, if we talk about the masculinity and femininity, in the masculine part, there is no parenting, there is no caring, there is no nurturing. There are courage, independency, competitivity, responsibility, strength, logic, freedom, focusing, being aware. The other part, the feminine part, talks about or carries the surrender, the receptivity, the empathy, the radiance, the flow, the sensuality, the nurturing, as we said, the affection, sharing, tenderness, patience, loving, and softness. So we say this is a woman, so she has to find, or to be a feminine, she has to process or perceive the nurturing part naturally. This is not a rule. And when we see men who are soft, caring, and empathizing, we see that as odd thing. Both are not
right.
Yes, because if we are balanced human beings, both must be shown in a natural or a balanced manner. Okay, so both of the two parts are inside us as energies and chemicals. But according to, again, the genes, the way we were treated or raised up after birth, as if it comes to a girl, you are a girl, so you have to have some dolls and take care of the babies and your sisters and brothers as long as I'm away from home as a mother. So she takes the responsibility of being a mother. But do we do that with our sons, with our boy kids, to take care of his brother or to do something like that, to initiate the parenting manner inside him?
We actually don't.
So we are not initiating this part, which is really dormant there.
That would bring me, Dr. Ines, to ask that, because you raised the issue of how do we plant that thing at the person or his character, because the way how mothers do raise their kids, especially the males or the male's kids, that you are a male. All these family issues or the take caring of the child or all the house chores issues are related to the female. Even if they are brothers and sisters, the sister should be doing these things and not the boy. So it's mainly raised by the mother in her child. Boy child.
Yes, yes.
So how can we change that? Because it's very frightening.
To change that, you have to...
it's a cultural oriented
you
thing.
need to get moms and dads to be aware of the thing. First of all, if you are doing this, you are initiating a part, only one part of your kid, and disabling the other part. So he will not be balanced in his life. When it comes to be a father, or at least a husband, he will not be happy, because he's just having one part of him initiated. Or her, if she is raised as, you are a girl, you have to do such and such and such that, so you are not initiating the other part of taking responsibility of being carried, having the courage to do things, to be independent, to be responsible, to be free, to say whatever she wants.
Indeed.
So you are disabling half of their energies. You have to be aware of that first of all. So we need to spread that in the society. This kind of knowledge will help a lot in the coming years, because as we say now in the society, there are so many divorces. We are rocking in the percentage of getting divorced because of no sharing.
Yes, that would bring me, Dr. Ines, you have raised a very important issue, which is the increasing rate of divorce. To what extent that could change the features or the roles of both fathers and mothers? Because when both the females and male, or the wife and husband got divorced, sometimes the roles do change if the kids are staying with the father or whatsoever. So does that change the role that each one is playing with his kids or her kids?
As I understand the question, yes, if the father is the one who is responsible to take care of his kids, this will initiate, if he is able to do that, this will initiate his feminine part, which is part really originally from him, of him.
He is, at this point, he's doing both duties of the mother and father.
Yes.
At a certain point.
And if the mother is taking care of her kids, you are giving her or initiating the masculine part in her to have the responsibility and to go to and provide and protect. And the father traits, you know, the good father traits are like, he is the pillar of strength. So she will play both roles, nurturing and providing and protection. Protector, teacher, friend, exemplar. The good father must be spiritual leader. He must be a good husband, treating his wife as a queen, to give this lesson to his kids afterwards.
Does that happen a lot? Honestly speaking, from your own experience as a life coach.
We have some good examples, yes.
Of course, but not to the extent of, because because of, again, how the male here in the Egyptian or the Arab societies were raised, because of maybe many burdens that they are facing, but both are facing, males and females. So how can we change that perspective?
By seeing the example. The example is our Prophet.
Of course.
If you were talking about the Arabs. So Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was a real balanced man. He had both parts. He was nurturing, he was caring, he was empathizing, and he was very responsible, very brave, very independent. So both parts must be balanced. If we want to be a father or a mother, this is a parenting. We are fathers and mothers only because we have this biological ability. But this doesn't mean that we are parents. Parenting is something very else we have to learn. There are so many courses of positive parenting nowadays. You have to go and take these courses, or at least read books before having this baby. Because if you are entering a project, do you enter it like that? Or you do a feasibility study and you analyze information and you see your resources and you see what is not there for you to be provided before having a project. The baby is a project. You are building a human being.
It's a very important project, as a matter of fact. Dr. Ines, motherhood emotions are said to be instinctive. So what about the fatherhood? Is it an instinctive thing, or it is something that we do develop as they grow older?
Yeah, thank you for the question. Again, the basic instincts are 5. Hunger, thirst, sleep, sex, and parenting. They say it's a motherhood.
You said parenting.
Yes.
So parenting, it's both.
Yes. They say it's motherhood.
Why?
They say it as a common word, but when I studied these things and energetically, motherhood is talking about caring, nurturing, feeding, emotional support, and such things. Can't we see fathers do that?
We do.
We do. So it's according to the way we raise our kids again. Are we initiating this part of him or disabling this part of him? If we initiate this part, so it will be shown off with his, for example, for a man, with his nieces and nephews. You can see him as a good parent, a good parent, not a father. Okay, so it can be developed by giving him the chance to be a natural human being, a balanced human being. And if the girl is raised as, okay, you are a girl in a society of men, you have to be tough. So you are disabling the feminine part in her, so she will not be a good parent.
So, Dr. Ines, that would bring me to ask, if a person is caring, loving, tender, he cares a lot about his family, his children, if he does have a child, or maybe even if he does not have children, he might experience the parenthood with his niece or nephews or whatsoever. So does it more depending on the character of the person more than an instinctive thing, or it is an instinct that we do develop and if we want to practice, we could practice even if we do not have kids.
Yes, yes, indeed. It's an instinct, basic instinct, and we can develop it, support it to be shown, or we can just prevent it from being shown off by the way we raise our kids. Okay, if I'm going out of home, please, my big son, take care of your little brother. So I'm initiating something. And, for example, go and buy me something, for example. So I'm initiating his masculine part to be, again, a balanced human being. When some kids are showing excess emotions as feminine, this is also dangerous. Some girls show some excess characters as masculine. This is really dangerous. And in our society, when we see a girl like that, we feel proud that she will be responsible and she will be independent. This is not normal. And if we see the boy is emotional and sympathetic, we see that as, we cannot show that to our society. No, both need to be supported and dealt with some professionals to be balanced again. Okay? So it's instinct and developed by giving the chance to practice.
Yeah. Dr. Ines, we do see that some girls at even a very early stage of their lives do have the emotions of motherhood. They do practice that with a doll, maybe, with their younger sisters. If they do not have younger sisters or brothers, they could practice that with the children of friends or family members. So does that differ from one girl to another as well?
Yes, it is. It's in the genes again, and in the acceptance of being a girl and her behavior, and then the surrounding environment that she is exposed to. Again, it's like the melanin, okay, anything in our body. For example, we have very dark skin, black people. We have not black, but dark brown. We have lighter skin colors. It's like the characters inside us. Some people are very tough. Some are mildly tough. Some are soft. So it's different from one to another.
Dr. Ines, if two newlywed couple are coming to you and they are on the process of having maybe a child or something like that, what are the tips that you could give them as a life coach and a soft skill trainer to develop the motherhood and fatherhood in a right and proper way without a conflict of interest or a division of the roles?
Okay, thank you. First of all, they have to know that this baby is a project. First step. Second step, why are you having this baby? Because when soft skills courses, if we are talking about anything like time management or team building or something like that, we say, what's in it for you? Why are you having a baby? So by having his answer and her answer, we will find a common ground. If no common grounds, so what do you think is this project result? It would not be positive. So they have to have a common ground of why we are having this baby and how will we raise him up. Religiously, culturally, he will have some arts and music, he will whatever. They need to share the ideas for tomorrow, for this baby, together. Speak them out. Be honest with yourself, first of all, because if we are having these contrasts, it has to be clear from the first beginning, not to have the conflicts in the presence of the kid afterwards, which will be damaging.
Yeah. What other tips do you give to the parents in order to have the proper roles here, Dr. Ines? Because as we have been talking, the roles of fathers is very mixed up. Because even if we are talking about the dramas that we are watching, the old movies, the role of the mother is the dominant one. She is the one which is close to the kids. She is bearing most of the responsibilities, except maybe to a certain extent the financial part. and the guy or the father is not seeing his role in studying for the kids or bearing their problems or whatsoever, unless they are sick maybe, or if he is having some financial obligations. So what's the real role here that should be played by the father concerning his kids?
Okay. The father, to be a real father, he must be a real man, first of all.
That's quite a big issue.
Under the circumstances of our society, it's really hard nowadays financially.
What is your definition of a real man here? Because for certain people in the community, they do see a man as the one who is spending money, maybe the financial part, and maybe who is a bit tough. Or what's your definition here? Because unfortunately we do see the manhood in our society in a very strange way. Maybe.
Okay, don't we see some women spending money?
Yes,
providing
of
protecting families
women
nowadays. So
yes.
These women are real men.
Or
So,
even they are
yeah.
contributing with their, which is a normal thing.
Man is not related to the gender. It's related to the characteristics and personalities.
The attitude.
Yes. Because as we said, the masculine part and the feminine part again. The masculine part talks about responsibility, competitivity, financial support, confidence, courage, and these things. The feminine part talks about emotional part and softness, tenderness, and these things. The real man is the real human being who has the balance between both parts. That's how. So again, to be back to the question you asked me about the roles of both of them. Let's say father is not a second mother.
He's not, of course.
He's not. He's a parent. Parenting is a role of
both
two parts. It has to be
Indeed.
provided. As we see in our society, mothers put rules and fathers
Break the
ignore
rules.
them, yes, and break them. Okay? Mothers are saying a lot. Fathers are doing a lot. If we are talking about a real father.
Yeah.
Okay? They talk less. They talk more. They are doers. Okay? They are organizers. So they are caregivers. They help to take chances. So if you are giving your kid the real part of you as your parental role, you are giving him the balance in life. Because if your kid is not having the real part of you that he needs, he will go and search for that from others, from an uncle, from a friend, from a brother, from a friend is really dangerous, from a teacher. Whether I'm saying that for both mother or father, if the kid is missing the real part, the role of this part in his life, he will go and seek for that from other places and other sources.
Indeed.
Do you want your kid to do that?
Because it might be done in the wrong way.
Yes, of course.
Dr. Ines, how can a woman tell that her future husband will grow to be a caring and concerned and tender husband and father?
It's a bit difficult question.
Because unfortunately, at the stage of dating maybe or engagement, the situation is different.
Yes.
And everyone, I won't say they are acting, but they are trying to show their best characteristics.
Of course, that's why I'm telling you it's difficult, because most of the time we are not that honest while engaging people. But let's say, see his spontaneous reactions to kids around you. But again, it's not a rule. To be honest, when he is a father, it may be different. Different in either way, it's positive or negative, because maybe he is emotional and supportive and caring before getting a baby. After getting a baby and having all these responsibilities and financial issues and things, maybe his emotions will be having a shock. So really I cannot say something like that, but to have your husband as a good father or a good parent, he has to share with you from the moment you are, you are pregnant. He has to share every moment. Do not go to your doctor without him. Please do not do that. Let him see and hear the heartbeats of the baby inside your womb. Let him see the sonar pictures and such things. Let him put his hand and feel the movements of the baby inside there. Let him share every moment while the baby is inside. And then my advice is really, do not get your husband out of being parent zone by sleeping away with your kid in another room because he's crying and screaming all the night. No, he has to share that. Not to disturb the family, but to an extent to feel you and to feel this baby.
Indeed. Of course, Dr. Ines Gazzar, life coach and soft skills trainer, thank you very much for your precious input and for being our guest. Thank you very much. And with that, our dear viewers, we come to the end of this edition of Body and Soul. Hope you have enjoyed it. Until we meet again next week, I'm Rabia signing off.